What is up, guys? Welcome to the Computer Information Highway for your Java programming tutorial number 16. Yeah, the last one was 15. So this is number 16. In this tutorial, we're going to be continuing our journey along discovering the answer to life, the universe, and everything. And what we're going to be doing is, you remember how last time when we were running our program, it was giving us this huge number. Last time we got a negative number, I think. This one is giving us a positive, massive number. Another one. So you just run this more than one time. It'll give you new ones each time because it's randomizing it. So the question is, alright, so if this is such a massive number list like that it can choose from, I don't even know how many numbers it is. How can we tell it to look through a more refined search? So I'm gonna teach you how to do that. So what we have here is we have our function get new number. In here we're going to be specifying a couple arguments. We need a couple arguments in here. We're going to call one int min, because we want this the smallest it should be, and then we should have int max. And this will be the largest number, so we want it to look between these two numbers right here, int min and max. So next int is cool and all. It's going to give us a new random int within the bounds of within the bounds of the integer, which I can actually just look up. Alright, it is 2 to the 32nd minus 1, which works out to about 2.14 billion. Yeah, so it's going to be choosing a number between negative 2.14 and positive 2.14 billion. So that's a little bit large of a range we're going to be looking for. So we're going to narrow that scope down. So you're probably asking, alright, how can we do that? Well, next int is the function that we were using before. However, you can have another function called next int that has a parameter. So I'm going to delete this right here. I'm going to delete the dot, and I'm going to show you exactly how you can look for it. If you put the dot, and I know you can do this in Eclipse as well, so I don't think this should be an issue. If you hit dot and then start typing next int, you'll see that there's more than one type of next int. There's one with no parameters and one with one parameter, int n. So this version of next int is going to be taking one argument, which is going to be an integer. So we're going to look at what this says. Returns a pseudo-random uniformly distributed int value between 0 and the specified value, inclusive and exclusive, drawn from this random number generator sequence. The general contract of next int is that one value of the specified range is blah blah blah, whatever. Alright, that doesn't really matter too much. What was basically important is value between 0 inclusive and the specified value exclusive. So it's not going to be including the value that we're putting in here. It's going to be one below. You know, it's because computers generally start from the number 0 and then increase from there rather than starting from 1, which is standard in, like, I guess, human convention. So the number that we're going to be putting in here is going to be the maximum number that it can be. So it's telling us to use min, but we don't want min. Actually, for now we're just going to delete it, because it's going to be going from 0 to the number. So whatever it is, we need to have a minimum of we need to have a minimum of whatever our min value is. So whatever this generates, it cannot be lower than min. Right? So that's just going to add the minimum value to the end of it, so that if it's at 0, it's going to add the minimum value. So if it was 5, it would do 5. And then in here, we want max minus min plus 1. And the reason we're doing it this way is because since it starts at 0, we're including the plus 1. The plus 1 is going to bring it up so that it runs between 1 and whatever our max value is. But this is going to change it to where we can produce a number that is between the minimum number and like the maximum number. I know it's hard to understand, but um, I wish there was an easier way to explain this, but I would have to explain the like super math behind it, and I'm gonna be honest, I just looked it up, and you're gonna find yourself doing that most of the time anyways. The internet is gonna be your favorite and most useful tool for any of your programming experience. Um, so that's kind of where I got this. I was just trying to give you a rundown about what it does. Use this convention of next int if you're trying to produce a random number between a specific set, min and max. So this is now going to produce that random number that we were talking about, and it's going to include a min and a max. So now we got to incorporate it into the program that we have now. So you're seeing up here, we have this error, new number, get number. It's saying method get new number in class computer information highway cannot be applied to given types, required int and found no arguments. So this is because this right here is telling us that we need a minimum and a maximum argument, and we are not passing anything in here. So it's like this doesn't even exist, because you can, because like I was saying a couple minutes ago, you can have so you can have two versions of the same function, one that has no parameters and one that has multiple parameters. That's what I was telling you earlier. So because we don't have a function that has no parameters, we only have a function with two parameters, we need to include a couple parameters. So we're going to be looking between, let's just say, 1 and 100. That seems fair. We'll look between 1 and 100. So now it's going to perform the program, it's going to go through, it's going to create a new number, and I'm actually going to change this up a little bit. This is a little bit inefficient. It's storing more into the memory than necessary because it's creating a new integer, but it's not a huge deal, but it's good practice to try to make things just work like a little bit more efficiently. So I'm going to take this and put it here, and I'm going to delete that entirely. So now, it will still work the same because we are using this function, and you can return the function because a function returns the type that's listed that we put in here. Since this is going to be returning an integer, and we want to return an integer, it's going to still be returning that integer. So it's still going to be returning an int because this does return an int itself, the next int part right here. So let's run this and see what happens. So we're checking between 1 and 100, and what is the answer to life, the universe, and everything? Is it 90? 90 is a much more reasonable number. It lies between our parameters. So let's test it again. It might have just been a fluke. 57. That is suspiciously between 1 and 100. Maybe we had something going with this, and maybe the internet is really the most important and powerful resource in the world. And once again, 57, no. These are still coming up as no. So we're getting one step closer to figuring out the answer to life, the universe, and everything. So in the next tutorial, we are going to be checking many numbers. We are going to keep on checking to see if the numbers that we are creating is equal to life, the universe, and everything. And in the next tutorial, we're going to be incorporating a couple of other tutorials that I have taught to you in the past so that we can hopefully finish up this program. So I will see you guys in the next tutorial. If you guys haven't already subscribed, go ahead and do that. I'll try to be pushing out more tutorials. But until next video.